Alright, so for this video, my goal is to get you to understand what the different levels look like on your grade scale between a 1, 2, a 3, and a 4. Everything that you do in here will be graded on a 4-point scale, and you will have a target. The target, just think of this, target. What do I want you to do? What are you aiming for? Okay, for this target, the goal is that you can color in the lines, right? So if you dig through your papers, you'll see 4 copies of a turtle. Okay, get one of those copies out, and imagine if level 1 is just an attempt at a target. I want you to color this turtle as if you were just making an attempt. What do you think a level 1 would look like? Take a minute and color that in, what an attempt would look like. Okay, now what did that look like? This is what I would visualize, a level 1 to be, okay? This is an attempt, right? If we read the description, student has attempted target but still needs development, makes frequent mistakes. There's a lot of mistakes, right, in coloring in the lines there. A lot of mistakes. Okay, so take out another turtle. Our second level is developing towards the target, okay? So I want you to visualize, what do you think a level 2 would look like, right? This idea that you're developing towards the target of being able to color in the lines. What do you think that would look like? Again, take a minute and color in those lines, okay? Now, what does yours look like? Does it look like this? This is a level 2, all right? This is if someone is developing towards the target. If we look at the description, student is starting to understand, proving a basic understanding, but still has some mistakes and needs them, right? So they made a couple mistakes. It's not as bad. There's not frequent mistakes, but there is mistakes, right? There's 5, 6 times where they colored outside of the lines, right? So they're developing. They're almost there. Developing towards the target is like you're almost there. You just have one too many mistakes. Okay, now level 3 is you are proficient. You have met this target. This should be a little bit easier to understand. What do you think, if the target is I can color in lines, what do you think that looks like? Pull out a third piece of paper and color in the lines. Now, what does this look like? Again, this should be the easiest one, right? What it looks like to color in the lines, especially at your grade level. I hope you can complete this one, right? Just like this. There's usually very, very, very minute mistakes, if any. I don't know, looking around if you can find one. Okay, you might be able to find a tiny, tiny little mistake. All right, but for the most part, they have colored in the lines, right? So that is what I am looking for. For proficiency, you've done what I asked. Okay, you have done what I have asked. Now the last one. This is the one where some of them are a little bit easier than others to understand, right? I showed you in the last video, if you are communicating, it's a communication target. The target is you can write with minimal conventional errors. Well, then that's obvious how you get a 4 out of 4. You don't have any errors. There's not even minimal mistakes. It's perfect. If there's the word minimal in the target, that means you have to be perfect to get a 4 out of 4. But one like this, where it says I can color in the lines, you got to get a little more creative as to how you can excel and go above and beyond, right? So I want you to think about the target, I can color in the lines, and think about how can I excel at this? What would go above and beyond what I have in front of me, what you see on the screen here? Take a minute and do that. Okay, so what did you come up with? This is what I have in mind for excelling at this target, right? Essentially, they not only color in the lines, they colored it perfectly to look like a turtle, right? Because I didn't really tell you what color you had to color it, and this is a direct reflection of what a turtle looks like. So again, sometimes there's some thinking on your part as to, okay, how can I excel? How can you illustrate a deeper understanding? How can you go above and beyond what is required? That is a 4 out of 4. So I hope that this helped you to understand the different levels of targets. If there's ever a point where your parents are confused at home, not understanding things, certainly this is a good video to show them, to help them understand the different levels.